Hi all, Stanky here. Let's talk moral choices in gaming. Chances are, if you've ever played an RPG, there has been a point where you have been faced with a deep moral dilemma. These typically are situations filled with moral ambiguity, situations where there are extreme positives and negatives, situations that allow the player plenty of room to sort it out in their head. These are moral choices. Good RPGs allow the player to feel their choices impact the world. Do you side with the Bloody Baron, kill the druids or goblins, side with the Geth or Quarians? These are all examples that allow the player to interpret the RPG's narrative and make compelling choices. But today we ain't gonna talk about none of that. I believe I found the worst moral choice in gaming in Mass Effect 3's awful Omega DLC. So, let's jump in. Spoilers for a mediocre DLC, I guess. But Mass Effect 3's Omega DLC centers on going to the Asteroid Omega, a crime-ridden space station. Oh no, Omega has been taken over by General Boring. So Commander Shepherd teams up with a crime boss named Aria to take it back. The thing is, Aria sucks.
I am Omega. The hard way.
I don't care.
I'm itching for revenge.
Aria's brilliant plan is to fly an entire fleet into the space station and get everyone killed, and then she spends the entire DLC being stupidly reckless.
You're a dead man. No, wait!
Aria is terrible, but not in a fun way. Like, she's somehow boring and frustratingly evil. Aria should be this flawed, pragmatic character, like Yennefer from The Witcher. Somebody who does bad things, but for an interesting reason. But nope, Aria is just evil and doesn't care about anything, and that is boring. The other part of the DLC revolves around this character, Nyreen. The TLDR on Nyreen is she runs a gang on Omega, and unlike Aria, she's using her position of power to help people, provide for them. Oh, and these two shared a bunk. So throughout this DLC, you spend time with these two ex-lovebirds as they argue up and down Omega, as they go back and forth about Nyreen being too naive and Aria being too cruel. Blech. None of this matters though, because they kill off Nyreen in like an hour, just as they start to develop her. But you are essentially stuck with this broken up couple as they bicker incessantly. Because Aria is the core of this DLC and is so unlikable, everything falls flat. Which brings us to... So we get into a firefight, and our bickering couple gets pinned down in a force field. During this firefight, Shepherd must shut down this force field and save them. The force field is plugged into the same outlet as life support for 1,000 people. Aria has this lovely dialogue to say.
Yes, and I don't care. Shut it down.
And here is the choice. Do you press a button that kills 1,000 people? Yes or no? That's it. Do you risk 2 unlikable people dying, or do you kill 1,000 people? To make matters worse, this prompt is on the right trigger, meaning you can accidentally press the button that kills 1,000 people if the button prompt surprises you. If you make the good choice, nothing happens. Nyreen and Aria survive, but Aria is pissed at you for not killing 1,000 people.
Your soft heart almost cost me everything.
Quiet, Aria. It worked. Shepherd saved us without sacrificing innocent lives. I applaud her.
I suppose. Whatever.
If you make the evil choice, it plays this dramatic music as you watch 1,000 people die. And the game is also like, why did you do that? Like, it too knows that this is mind-numbingly stupid. Like, the game is phoning this in. If you press the button that kills people, Shepherd is like, can't risk it. Like, bro, what do you mean? You don't have to press the button that kills people. This is probably some of the laziest RPG writing I have ever seen, as there are no repercussions for pressing the kill button. But let's explain why this sucks more in depth. This example from Mass Effect 3 is incredible, because nothing about this choice is compelling or works. Let's break down what BioWare was trying to do. In a nutshell, the choice is this. Do you save the people you care about, or save 1,000 strangers? This is the trolley problem meme. Do you kill the few to save the many, and how does knowing the few impact your choice? This could be interesting, but falls apart immediately. Aria is terrible, and we don't care about Nyreen, so there are absolutely no stakes there. Literally, nothing about this choice works. We don't care about any of the parties involved, so the choice becomes meaningless. I mean, shoot, even if it were iconic characters like Tally or Garrus under fire, then the choice becomes slightly more compelling. But for this moral choice to work, we need characters we care about to be in danger. And moreover, we need consequences. Because this is a DLC released after the game came out, there are absolutely no consequences later for killing 1,000 people. I mean, Nyreen is mean to you because of it, but she dies like 20 minutes later anyway, so it doesn't matter. Literally not genociding people amounts to a roleplay choice. Flavor text for your Shepherd. So how do we fix this DLC? What would make this DLC's big choice more compelling? Well, good moral choices require the player to weigh the positives and negatives. Good moral choices are morally gray. They should make the player agonize over compelling pros and cons. If a game gives you a choice where the answer is clear, that's not a good moral choice. A great example of this is actually in Mass Effect 3's base game with the Krogan Genophage. The TLDR is this: the Krogan are these warlike frogmen. They used to breed quickly and almost took over the galaxy until the Council did eugenics on them and they can't have kids no more. In Mass Effect 3, the Krogan are dying out and are on the brink of extinction. It becomes Shepard's choice. Do you cure the Krogan's infertility and risk them taking over the galaxy, or do you risk the Krogan dying out, preventing their expansion? This moral choice is compelling because there is no easy answer, and there is appropriate build-up where you can see both sides. And whatever you choose has massive repercussions in Mass Effect 3. So how do we fix the Omega DLC? How do we make its big choice more compelling? What if instead the big choice of this DLC was about who would lead Omega? Let's remove the button press entirely. Do you side with Aria, giving people complete freedom but they remain lawless in the space station and chaos? Or do you side with Nyreen? Let Omega be brought under a new order from a gang. Everyone is taken care of, but the residents have less freedom. I mean, shoot, in this scenario, we could rewrite Nyreen to be a little bit more pragmatic. In our rewrite, she would still care for the people and want to take care of them, but would be a little bit more authoritarian. And we also aren't going to kill her off. Maybe at the end of the confrontation with General Boring, it would lead into a boss fight, where you fight whoever you didn't side with. The winner then would take over Omega and hang out on the purgatory couch. Do you kill 1,000 people or risk the lives of 2 unlikable characters is a brain-dead moral choice. Instead, the choice should be about the future of Omega. Should the people get self-destructive freedom or benevolent authoritarianism? This at least is more interesting than pressing a button to kill people. Look, I don't hate obviously good or bad choices in games. In fact, I do like it in RPGs when developers allow you to be a mustache-twirling villain, doing evil stuff that is so absurd that it just makes you laugh.
Ascension.
I've had enough of your disingenuous assertions. I knew this was a mistake.
You think you can keep treating the press like this and get away with it?
It's fun, and I do think it's important for RPGs to allow the player to occasionally be cartoonishly good or evil. Not every single choice a player makes should be morally gray, where they have to weigh the pros and cons. Sometimes you just want to be a nice person who does nice things. But if a game like Mass Effect is going to present a morally gray choice, the writing of that choice better be pretty good. The problem with the button choice is it pretends to be morally gray when it's really not. At no point do we worry about these 2 characters. We certainly do not care for Aria, and Nyreen does not get developed enough. So our moral dilemma is non-existent. I don't want to hang out with these people. Poor Nyreen gets fridged before she gets interesting. I mean, the most interesting thing about her is she's a female Turian who's nice. Not enough there. The thing that gets me too is there is absolutely no consequence for killing 1,000 people. Look, I get it. It's a DLC, so mechanically it wouldn't work for there to be repercussions in the base game. But then, maybe don't write that choice, BioWare. Maybe you write something a little bit more self-contained, my dudes. At the end of the day, Mass Effect 3's Omega DLC has a ton of problems. The environments are bland, the gameplay is repetitive, and you are stuck with a broken up couple that just bickers. On top of Aria being awful, I mean, this is proof that a side character sometimes should just stay a side character. But this choice, this moral button choice, is the icing on the turd cake. The thing that, in my mind, cements this DLC as an all-time stinker. But hey, disagree. How bad is this choice? Is there one that's worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. This has been Stanky. Love ya. Bye. Remember, this channel is home to stinky opinions. Love what you saw? Hate what you saw? Drop a comment down below. And why not subscribe if you enjoyed the show? Thanks for me, Stanky, the CEO.